So picture this. You are sitting at an office party, right?
Right.
Or maybe just having a tea break with your colleagues on a Friday afternoon.
Oh, yeah. Best time of the week.
Exactly. Everyone is relaxed, people are laughing, and suddenly, the person sitting right across from you looks at you and asks, "Hey, how was your recent trip?"
Uh-oh. The dreaded question.
Right. Now, if you are answering in your native language, it is fine. You might feel a tiny bit of pressure to tell a fun story.
Yeah.
You definitely do not want to be that boring guy giving a minute-by-minute schedule of your trip to Goa.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear, at 9 a.m. we ate toast and at 10 a.m. we looked at a tree.
Exactly. But here is the catch. What if you have to answer this question in English? And English is a language you are still learning.
Oh man, that tiny bit of pressure just turns into a massive panic attack.
It really does. It is like a full-blown emergency in your brain. Your heart rate goes up. Your hands literally start sweating.
I have been there. It is the worst feeling.
Right. Just seconds ago, you had all these amazing, colorful memories of your vacation in your head. But the moment you have to speak in English, your mind just goes completely, terrifyingly blank.
It is like someone pulled the plug on your brain.
Yes. You were just staring at this person, and you realize you have absolutely no idea how to put those beautiful memories into English words.
It is a totally paralyzing feeling. And, it happens because you are basically fighting a really hard battle on two different fronts at the same exact time.
Wait, what do you mean by two fronts?
Well, first, you are fighting the language itself.
Wow.
Your brain is desperately searching for the right words. You are thinking, wait, what is the past tense of go? Is it went or gone? You are trying to build a correct sentence in your head.
That takes so much energy.
Exactly. That alone takes massive processing power. But then on the second front, you also have to be a good storyteller. You are trying to make the story interesting so your friend does not get bored.
So you're trying to be grammatically perfect and highly entertaining at the same time.
Right. We usually think of talking as this easy, flowing river. But in those moments of panic, it does not feel like floating. It feels like you are standing in a dry riverbed, trying to build a massive dam with your bare hands, while a huge wall of water is rushing right at you.
Oh, wow. That is the perfect way to describe it. It is just complete cognitive overload.
Yep. System failure.
It is exactly like when you open too many heavy apps on your smartphone at the same time.
Yeah,
The phone gets super hot, the screen freezes, and it just stops working.
that is exactly what happens to our brains.
And that specific freeze, that moment when you just cannot speak, is exactly what we are going to fix today. Welcome to our deep dive.
I am so excited for this one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because we have this really fascinating source material today. It is a guide called The Traveler's Guide to Sharing Journey Experiences.
Here.
And it is created by these two teachers, Aman and Ria.
Yeah, and at first glance, it looks so simple.
It really does. If you just read it quickly, it looks like a very basic beginner English lesson. Just a few simple phrases to talk about a holiday.
Like a little pocketbook you buy at the airport.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we are not just going to read a list of English words to you. You can find that on the internet anywhere. Our mission today is to look deeper.
Right, we want to see the psychology behind it.
Yes. We are going to unpack how Aman and Ria use something everyone loves traveling to completely remove that language anxiety we just talked about.
They found a way to help people connect using the absolute minimum amount of English.
And that is the secret, right? Because before you can tell a deep emotional story about seeing the sunrise in the mountains, you have to get over the hardest part of learning a new language.
Opening your mouth.
Yes. Opening your mouth and making that very first sound. It is so scary.
It is the moment you feel the most vulnerable. Everyone is looking at you.
Yeah, exactly. Once you start speaking, you are committed. You cannot hide anymore. So Aman and Ria tackle this massive problem right at the start. They call it segment 1, starting a conversation.
And their approach is so smart.
It is. Ria asks Aman, how do you start talking about a trip? And Aman gives 3 very simple phrases. Listen to these. He says, I recently went on a trip.
Okay, very simple.
Then he says, it was an amazing experience. And Ria adds, I visited a beautiful place. That is it. That is their whole opening strategy.
From a language point of view, it is incredibly basic. There are no fancy words at all.
None. When I read those phrases, the image that came to my mind was a doorknob.
A doorknob? How so?
Oh, think about trying to enter a room, or in this case, trying to enter a conversation. You do not need to kick the door down with a super complex poetic sentence.
You do not need to say, having recently traveled through the magnificent valleys of the north.
Exactly. You sound like a textbook if you do that.
Mm.
You just need to reach out and turn the doorknob. You just need to open the door so you can step inside the conversation.
I love that analogy. You just need to get the door open.
But I have to be honest.
Oh.
When I recently went on a trip, I pushed back a little.
Yeah.
I worried it was almost too simple.
You thought it sounded robotic.
Yeah. I thought if I say something this simple, will people think my English is bad? Will I sound like a little kid reading from a school book? Doesn't this make adults feel a bit silly?
That is such a common fear. Actually, it is the universal fear of every adult learning English, and it is totally normal.
Because we want to sound smart.
Exactly. In our native languages, like Hindi or whatever we speak at home, we make jokes, we have deep thoughts, we sound intelligent.
Right, I am very funny in my native language.
We all are. But when we speak English, there is this huge gap between how smart we are in our heads and the simple words coming out of our mouths.
It is so frustrating.
It is. We think that using big, complex words makes us look intelligent. We think, if I don't use fancy vocabulary, people will judge me.
So how does this guide fix that?
The brilliance of Aman and Ria is that they completely ignore that ego trap. They lean totally into simple structures. Look at the grammar of Aman's sentence. I recently went on a trip.
Okay, let's break it down.
It uses the strongest, most basic building block in the English language. Subject, verb, object, SVO.
Subject is I. Verb is went. Object is trip.
Exactly. By giving you this ready-made, locked phrase, they are doing a massive favor for your brain. They are drastically lowering the cognitive load.
Going back to the smartphone analogy.
Right. When you speak English, you have too many apps open. You have a grammar app running, a pronunciation app, a vocabulary app, and a please don't judge me anxiety app.
That anxiety app drains the battery so fast.
It really does. And if you try to open a complex sentence generator app on top of all that, your brain crashes. You freeze.
So by giving us, I recently went on a trip. Aman and Ria are giving us a tiny, lightweight app that uses almost zero battery.
Yes. You do not have to build the sentence from scratch. You just press play. Your brain does not have to worry about grammar or past tense because this phrase is already perfect.
It is guaranteed to work.
Always. And the genius is understanding the real goal here. The goal of starting a conversation is never to recite poetry.
Is not to show off your vocabulary.
Never. The only goal is to establish the topic so you can get some forward momentum.
Forward momentum. I love that. It is like riding a bicycle.
Oh, that is a great way to look at it.
Yeah, think about it. If you were sitting on a bicycle and you are not moving, you are at a dead stop. It takes so much energy just to balance and not fall over. You are wobbling everywhere.
It is exhausting.
But the second you start pedaling, even if you are pedaling super slowly, physics takes over. The momentum keeps you up. Steering becomes easy.
So getting that first simple sentence out is like the first push on the pedals.
Exactly. You turn the doorknob, you push the pedal, and the wheels start moving.
And it does something amazing to the person listening to you, too. If we think about human psychology, people are literally wired to love stories.
Oh, absolutely. We love hearing about other people's lives.
For thousands of years, our survival depended on people coming back from trips and sharing news.
Like, hey, I went over the mountain and there's a lot of fresh water there.
Exactly. It is survival data disguised as a story. So when you say, I recently went on a trip, you are pressing an ancient button in the listener's brain.
You are sending a signal that says, I have a story.
Yes. And their natural reaction is curiosity. They will lean in. They will look you in the eyes. They actively want to hear you.
Because people love experiencing things through others.
They really do. You have their full attention with just one simple sentence. And here's the magic part about language anxiety. When you see them smiling and leaning in, your stress drops.
Because you realize they are not judging your grammar.
Right. Your brain goes, oh, we are safe. This person actually wants to hear my story. That simple doorknob phrase buys you so much social goodwill.
That completely changes how I view conversations. Usually when I struggle with English, I feel like I am wasting the other person's time. I feel like a burden.
But you are not a burden at all.
No, I am actually offering them a gift. I am giving them a fun story, a little escape from their boring office day, and they're happy to accept it.
Exactly. Okay, so we have turned the doorknob. The door is open, we stepped inside, and the listener is waiting for the story.
But right now, we are just showing them an empty room. We said, I went on a trip, but we've not given them any details.
Right, now we have to actually paint the picture.
And this is where a lot of learners get stuck again. They open the door, but they do not know how to describe the trip without using super difficult words.
Aman and Ria know this will happen. So in segments 2 and 3 of their guide, they give us a very specific set of describing words.
They divide it into two parts. talking about the place and talking about the activities, what you saw and what you did.
And just like the opening, they keep the English incredibly simple.
Let me read what they suggest. For the place, Aman says, the place was very peaceful. He also adds, the weather was perfect.
Nice and easy.
And Ria adds, the view was beautiful. Then they move to activities. Ria says, I explored new places, and I tried local food.
And Aman finishes with, I enjoyed every moment.
He even gives a real-life example. He says he went to the mountains to, quote, explore and relax.
Let's look closely at these words. Peaceful, perfect, beautiful, explored, tried, relaxed.
I see the pattern. It is very simple. But I have to ask a tough question here.
Go for it.
We live in the world of Instagram and TikTok, right? Every day, we see travel vloggers jumping out of airplanes or eating crazy 30-course meals on top of a volcano.
Yeah, the internet has made travel look insane.
Right. So in a world where everyone expects these crazy cinematic stories, is saying the weather was perfect and the view was beautiful really enough?
You think it sounds a bit boring.
Yeah. Does anyone really care if the weather was nice? Isn't it too bland?
I get why you feel that way, but you are comparing a normal human conversation to a high-budget TikTok video, and that is not how spoken stories work.
Okay, tell me more.
These simple words are not supposed to be high-definition drone footage. In linguistics, we call words like beautiful and peaceful high-frequency adjectives, but I like to call them Swiss Army knives.
Swiss Army knives, like those little red pocket knives with all the different tools.
Exactly. A Swiss Army knife is not the absolute best tool for building a house, but it has a tool for almost every basic daily situation. It is super versatile.
That makes sense.
If you use a highly specialized word like picturesque or sun-dappled, you are painting a very rigid picture. It is hard to use correctly. But a word like beautiful is basically an empty container.
Wait, an empty container? What do you mean?
When you hand the listener the word beautiful, their brain takes that empty container and fills it with their own imagination.
Oh, wow.
Think about Aman's phrase, the place was very peaceful. When you say that, the listener does not just hear the word. Their brain automatically remembers their own favorite peaceful feeling.
So if I say it was peaceful, and my friend loves the beach, he's picturing a quiet beach with gentle waves.
Yes.
And if another friend loves the mountains, she is picturing a silent forest with tall pine trees.
Exactly. You are giving them a blank coloring book page, and they are using their own crayons to color it in.
That is amazing. So I do not need the vocabulary to describe the exact sound of the wind or the exact smell of the trees. I just give them the feeling, and their brain does all the heavy lifting.
Yep. It is so much less work for you as the speaker.
That is a lifesaver for English learners.
It really is. It triggers their own memories. And the psychological magic here is that the listener will actually think you told a very vivid, detailed story, even though their own brain did most of the work.
Aman and Ria are secretly teaching us how to be conversational hackers.
They really are. They turn a monologue into a team effort. You and the listener are co-writing the story.
Speaking of team effort, the best example of this in the guide is the activity phrase. Ria says, I tried local food.
Ah, yes, the food phrase.
Out of all the things you can do on a holiday, shopping, swimming, visiting museums, why does this guide specifically tell us to talk about eating local food?
It's a very deliberate choice. Food is the ultimate cultural bridge.
It brings everyone together.
Right. It is something every human needs to do, but every culture does it differently. When you tell someone, I tried local food, you're sending a really cool message.
You were telling them you didn't just sit in your hotel room eating pizza.
Exactly. You are showing that you actually explored, you engaged with the new place, you literally consumed the culture.
It shows you are brave and curious.
Yes, and that makes people like you. It proves your trip was about connecting with the world.
Okay, let's play a little game to test this out in real life.
Oh, I love games. Let's do it.
Let's imagine our English learner. We will call him Rahul. Rahul is at a big, noisy office dinner party.
Okay, lots of people, lots of noise.
Right. Everyone is speaking really fast English, using modern slang, laughing loudly. Rahul is feeling super intimidated. His language anxiety is very high.
He is just standing in the corner, holding his drink, hoping nobody talks to him.
Exactly. But suddenly, his boss turns to him and says, Hey, Rahul, I heard you went to Jaipur last month. How was the trip?
Oh no, the spotlight is on him.
Right. Now, Rahul does not have the English vocabulary to describe the 20 different spices in the Rajasthani thali he ate or the complex history of the forts.
If he tries to talk about ancient architecture in English, his brain will crash.
He will stumble over his words, feel embarrassed, and shut down.
Yeah.
But Rahul has practiced Aman and Ria's guide.
Smart guy, Rahul.
So he does not try to be a history teacher. He just takes a breath, turns the doorknob, and uses his Swiss Army knives.
What does he say?
He looks at his boss and says, "It was an amazing experience. The place was beautiful, and I tried the local food."
Perfect. He set the tone, painted a simple picture, and dropped the cultural food anchor.
And he stayed completely safe in his simple English zone. Now, what is the boss going to say next?
The boss is going to take the bait. He will say, "Oh, really? What kind of food? Was it super spicy? Did you have the street food?"
Boom. That is exactly what happens.
By saying, "I tried local food," Rahul forced his boss to ask a specific follow-up question.
He changed it from a terrifying speech into a natural dialogue.
And a dialogue is so much easier than a monologue. When you give a monologue, you have to do 100% of the work. You have to think of the ideas, build the sentences, and keep people entertained.
It is exhausting.
But a dialogue is shared labor. Now the boss is doing half the work. He is asking the questions.
Rahul doesn't have to invent a story anymore. He just has to answer easy questions. Was it spicy? Yes, very spicy. Did you like it? Yes, it was delicious.
The pressure is completely gone. The conversation is just flowing naturally.
It is like Rahul was standing on a stage, scared he had to juggle 5 heavy balls by himself. But instead, he just threw one ball to his boss, and his boss threw it back.
Now they're just playing a fun game of catch.
It blows my mind, honestly, because if you look at normal English apps or school textbooks, they always make you practice long monologues.
Oh, totally. Stand up and tell the class about your daily routine for 5 minutes.
Right, but real life is never a speech. Real life is a back-and-forth volley. Aman and Ria are actually teaching us how to play ping pong in English.
They are giving you the tools to invite the other person to play with you.
Okay, so we successfully turned the doorknob. We painted a picture with our Swiss Army knife adjectives. We started the ping pong game by talking about spicy food.
We survived the start of the conversation.
We communicated a very nice, pleasant schedule of our trip.
Yeah.
But I am looking at this and I realize something. A nice schedule is not actually a story.
What do you mean?
Like, a list of nice places and nice foods is fine. But to make a story that people actually remember, you need emotions. And you need a little bit of drama.
Ah, you need conflict.
Yes. Which brings us to section 3, the emotional arc and the plot twist.
This is my favorite part of the guide.
Mine too. The guide shifts from the outside world, the weather and food, to the inside world. Segment 4 is called Talking About Feelings.
Aman suggests saying, "I felt relaxed and happy."
And Ria says it was a memorable trip,
Yeah.
which is super sweet. It wraps up the happy parts nicely. But they do not stop there.
No, they take a brilliant turn right here.
Segment 5 introduces the absolute genius move. It is titled Problems During Trip.
Dun dun dun.
Right. Ria says, sometimes trips are not perfect. And she teaches the phrase, there was a delay.
Like a train delay or a traffic jam. Very common.
Very common. But then Aman drops the greatest phrase ever. You can almost hear him smiling when he says, we got lost.
We got lost. 3 tiny words that change everything.
It is the plot twist.
Yeah.
Think about any Bollywood movie or any novel you love. If the hero just walks down a sunny road, eats a nice sandwich, and gets home safely, you would turn off the TV after 10 minutes.
It'd be so boring.
Terribly boring. A trip where nothing goes wrong is a terrible story to tell at a party. The drama is where the fun begins.
When you say we got lost, the listener immediately leans in and goes, "Wait, you got lost in the middle of Jaipur. What did you do? How did you get back?"
Yes, but it is not just about making the story fun. Why is this so important for English beginners to learn?
Because it builds emotional resilience. When adults learn a new language, they are obsessed with being perfect. Oh, completely obsessed. We hate making mistakes.
We want perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation, and a perfect story to make us look like we are totally in control of our lives.
Because speaking bad English makes us feel like little kids again. We feel vulnerable, so we try to act tough and perfect to protect ourselves.
Exactly. That is the ego's defense mechanism. But Aman and Ria know a secret about humans. Perfection builds a wall, but vulnerability builds a bridge.
Oh, say that again. That is good.
Perfection builds a wall, but vulnerability builds a bridge. When you teach a learner how to talk about a problem, you give them permission to fail.
You are telling them it is okay if things went wrong.
Right. And from a social perspective, sharing a funny disaster story instantly creates a bond with the listener.
Because a listener has absolutely been lost before. Everyone knows how frustrating it is to take the wrong bus or get stuck in traffic or lose Google Maps signal.
It is a universal human experience. When you share that frustration, you are not trying to act superior anymore. You are saying, life is messy, right? And it removes that scary feeling of, I am the student, you are the native speaker.
Yeah.
You just become two human beings laughing about a bad day.
Exactly.
I want to look at the psychology here for a second because it is kind of wild. Let's go back to Rahul at the office party.
Okay, Rahul is back.
He talked about the food. He's doing okay. But then he says, but on the second day, we got totally lost in the local market for 2 hours.
He admits he messed up.
Right. By admitting a mistake in English, a language he is already nervous about, doesn't he actually look more confident?
Oh, 100%. It is a known psychological effect.
Really? What is it called?
It is called the pratfall effect. Researchers found that highly capable people actually become more likable when they make a small, clumsy mistake. It makes them seem human.
So by laughing at his own bad luck, Rahul shows he is very secure in himself.
Right. He is secretly telling the boss, I might not speak perfect English, but I am confident enough to laugh at myself. People find that incredibly attractive and cool.
That is so true. The best stories at any party are always the disaster stories.
Let me tell you about the time our car broke down in the rain with no network.
Yes. By teaching the phrase, we got lost, this guide is giving learners the ultimate key to human bonding, the joy of a shared struggle.
If you look at the structure Aman and Ria built, it is honestly like beautiful architecture.
It is like they gave us a very small box of Lego bricks.
Exactly. We started with the basic doorknob piece to open the conversation. Then we added the sensory pieces to let the listener imagine the view.
Then the cultural food piece to start the ping pong game.
And finally, the problem piece to add emotion and drama.
They taught us how to build a full emotional story using maybe 20 simple English words.
It is brilliant.
But theory is only half the battle. You can know all this, but still freeze when someone actually talks to you.
Which brings us to the practice section.
Section 4, practice, photos, and confidence. How does the guide tell us to actually practice this without getting stressed out?
Aman and Ria are very practical here. In segment 7, Ria actually talks directly to the viewer. She says, now it's your turn, try to speak.
And she gives 3 super direct questions to answer. Where did you go? What did you do? How did you feel?
Where? What? How?
Right after she says that, Aman jumps in with the golden rule of the whole guide. He says, keep it simple.
Keep it. It creates a safe little practice loop. You don't need to invent a new format every time. You just answer the 3 questions.
Let's do a rapid-fire game right now to show how easy it is. I will be the learner. You ask me the questions.
Oh, fun. Okay, ready.
Ready? Go.
Where'd you go?
I went to Manali.
What did you do?
I explored mountains and tried spicy street food.
How'd you feel?
I felt happy, but we got lost once.
Boom. That was amazing. That is a perfect English conversation, and it took 10 seconds.
And because I know this structure,
How my brain did not panic?
The repetition creates physical pathways in your brain. Once it becomes automatic, your mental battery frees up again.
and when your battery is free, you can actually look the person in the eye. You can smile. You are not staring at the ceiling trying to remember grammar rules.
You are actually present in the moment with your friend.
But before we wrap up the philosophy, we have to talk about segment 9. It is so funny, but also a little deep.
Oh, I know exactly which part you mean. Aman asks Ria a very modern question.
He asks her, be honest. Do you enjoy the trip or the photos more?
And Ria laughs and says, both.
And Aman says, same here.
It is a really cute, relatable moment. We all love taking photos. But made me think about a real problem we have today.
What is that?
Are we using our smartphones as a crutch to avoid speaking English?
Oh, wow. That is a heavy question.
Think about it. Describing a huge mountain or the exact blue color of the ocean in English is hard work. It takes effort. So instead of trying, we just pull out our phones, shove the screen in our friend's face and say, look.
We use the photo so we don't have to use the language.
Exactly. Are we taking photos just to avoid the vulnerable work of telling a story?
That is a really sharp observation. An image is super fast. It shows the mountain perfectly. But an image is cold.
Yes, cold.
A photo of a mountain shows what it looks like, but it does not tell the listener how you felt standing there.
The photo does not show how tired your legs were, or how cold the wind was, or how proud you felt when you reached the top.
When we only show photos, we offer evidence that we went somewhere, but we do not offer connection.
We offer evidence, but not connection. That hits hard. Because being shown a 50-photo album on someone's phone is actually super boring.
You just stand there nodding, oh, nice. Wow, cool tree, nice.
You are completely passive.
Yeah.
But if that person puts the phone in their pocket, looks you in the eye, and tells you how they got hopelessly lost trying to find that tree.
And how a nice local shopkeeper gave them directions.
Yes. Now you are both actively participating. You're building a real relationship.
And that brings us to the absolute core message of Aman and Ria's guide, the grand finale.
In segment 10, Ria says, trips create memories.
And Aman finishes her sentence, and sharing them improves your English.
And then they drop the ultimate philosophy of the whole project. They say, you don't need perfect English, just confidence.
Just confidence, not a 100% score on a grammar test.
Not a dictionary full of big words.
Just the confidence to turn the doorknob, paint a simple picture, admit when things went wrong, and share your feelings.
They pull the curtain back.
Yeah.
This, guys, was never really about a vocabulary test. It is entirely about human connection.
Which is such a refreshing way to teach adults. Because traditional schooling was so punitive.
Punitive, meaning punishing.
Yeah. In school, every mistake was marked with a big red pen. You were basically taught, do not speak until your grammar is perfect.
Which just creates pure terror in students. We have an entire generation of people who can read a complex English novel in a silent room, but will start shaking if they have to order a coffee at a cafe.
Exactly. In linguistics, we call this the affective filter. It is an invisible wall made of anxiety and self-doubt. When that wall is up, you cannot speak, no matter how many words you know.
So Aman and Ria are basically giving us a secret weapon to destroy that wall.
They are saying that communication is the goal, not perfection. If you say, yesterday we get lost, instead of we got lost, yes, the grammar is technically wrong.
But the listener still understands exactly what you mean.
Exactly. The connection is made. The story continues. You can fix the grammar later with practice, but the confidence to connect has to come first.
You know, I really think this confidence-first idea goes way beyond just learning English.
so.
I think Aman and Ria just gave us a blueprint for doing anything scary in life. Think about public speaking. The people who completely freeze on stage are the ones who try to memorize a perfect word-for-word script.
Because the second they forget one word, their brain crashes.
Exactly. But the great speakers just have a simple structure in their head, and they have the confidence to just keep going. Even if they mess up a sentence, they just laugh it off.
It is the same with learning to play the guitar. If you wait until you can play perfectly in your bedroom before you ever let anyone hear you, you will never play for your friends.
You have to be brave enough to play a wrong note loudly and just keep the rhythm going.
Yes. The structure they gave us starts simple. Let the listener imagine the details, admit your problems, and share your feelings. That is how you should talk to your boss in a meeting. It is how you should talk to your partner after a long day.
It is the core architecture of human connection. Start simple. Give the highlights. Be honest about what went wrong. Share how it felt.
It is beautiful, and honestly, it requires a lot of trust.
Trust in what?
Trusting the listener. You have to trust that your friend does not actually want you to be a perfect robot. They just want you to be real.
They just want to connect with you.
When Aman says just confidence, he's really saying trust that your story is worth sharing, even if your English is imperfect.
Trust that your story is worth sharing. I absolutely love that.
It is a great feeling, right?
It is. So what does this all mean for you, listening to us right now?
We covered a lot of ground today.
We really did. From turning the doorknob with simple words, to using Swiss Army knife adjectives, to playing conversation ping pong with local food, to the likability of admitting you got lost.
The main takeaway is very empowering.
Storytelling does not require a massive English vocabulary. It requires a simple framework and the courage to actually use it. You have to know that you will probably stumble a bit.
And that is completely okay.
A simple story, told with the confidence to make mistakes and laugh at yourself, will always be 10 times better than a perfect sentence that you were too scared to ever speak out loud.
Communication is messy, and that is what makes it beautiful.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on this week.
Let's hear it.
We talked a lot today about how getting lost on a trip, missing a train, taking a wrong turn, getting stuck in traffic is actually the plot twist that makes the story fun.
The mistake is where the real adventure starts.
Right. So what if the mistakes you make while learning English are the exact same thing?
Oh, I like where this is going.
What if using the wrong word, or accidentally saying something funny to a native speaker. It's just like taking a wrong turn on a vacation. We spend so much energy worrying about looking foolish.
We really do.
But what if those awkward, unscripted moments, the moments where you have to point with your hands and laugh and rely on the kindness of the person you're talking to? What if those become the most memorable parts of your language journey?
The moments that actually make you friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe the ultimate goal is not to never make a mistake in English. Maybe the goal is just to learn how to enjoy the detour.